Monday in the wonderful City Hall of Woonsocket. Mayor, thank you so much for hosting this wonderful event to bring attention to organ donation and to proclaim April as Organ Donation Month here in the wonderful city of Woonsocket. My name is Matt Boger. I have the great honor of representing the federally designated organ procurement organization, New England Donor Services. It is our job each and every day to help save and enhance lives through what I call the miracle of organ donation. We're here to recognize individuals who've been personally touched by organ donation and to thank the state here in Rhode Island, here in New England, and throughout the country, where the states play an important role in the organ donation process, in that 98% of people who register as an organ donor do so at the state DMV here in Rhode Island, RMV in Massachusetts, or DMV throughout the country. Presenting that question, that voluntary question, would you like to register as an organ and tissue donor, is an important thing. If you have that heart on your license, that means you're a registered donor. And in fact, you're more likely to need a transplant than to become an organ donor. Organ donation is very, very rare. Can you open that? Thank you. In that only 3% of all deaths happen in a manner where one can become an organ donor. You can register truly at any age. In fact, one of the myths and misconceptions out there is I'm too old to register as an organ donor. And thank you, sir. The police chief does so many good things, including helping undo rap. So I appreciate that. Fire chief, excuse me, sir.
More good things.
Yeah, even more good things. Yes, put that on your resume, by the way. 60, 70, 80, and even 90, we want to encourage you to register. Registering as an organ donor means you're providing hope to those in need. Today, in the United States, there's over 103,000, people on the waiting list waiting for that life-saving call. In New England, there's over 6,000 individuals waiting for that life-saving call to replace a heart, a liver, a pancreas, a kidney, etc. These truly are amazing things. Mayor, thank you again for Monday, starting off this week with a bang of support and recognition, and to bring some attention to organ donation. Really appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you, Matt. It's great to be here. April as Organ Donation Month. This is our second consecutive year that we do this. I think it's a great cause. I just registered myself. I wasn't sure if I had done it previously, but Georgetta, who's a great volunteer here, Georgetta Gassi, registered me. So I am now an organ donor, and I appreciate everybody else's support. We have people from City Hall here. I have my fire chief here, and it's a great event to promote the Organ Donation Month. And if you're so inclined to do so, please do it. You can register, and it's very quick and easy, and I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you.
Mayor, thank you so much for reminding people that you can register 24 hours a day, as you just did 2 minutes ago. It took 2 seconds, but you can register at registerme.org. Again, most people register when they go to the DMV, but people forget. And the DMV does such a wonderful job. You only need to go there every 5 years to do it. So the reminder that you can do it would be great. I do, again, want to emphasize organ donation is very, very rare. It does not happen often. So that heart on your license means that you could become an organ donor, but the likelihood of you becoming an organ donor is very, very rare. Our organization is over 315 people strong, working 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 400 days a year. I understand that that's more days than there are in a year, but our job is to help save and enhance lives through the miracle of organ donation. We take great pride in doing that, and we take great pride working with each state, working with municipalities, and getting to have people share their specific story of transplantation. I do want to recognize the city councilor, Valerie Gonzalez, who was here last year celebrating with us and here's again. Valerie, if you'd like to say a few brief words, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, welcome everybody. I just, as I think about organ donation, I am an organ donor. There's so many unknowns in life, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want our life to impact even beyond our days. And this is just one simple way that we don't know if we'll be recipients or donors, but we do know that we can make a difference in somebody's lives. I, as an organ donor, the main reason why I signed up was that I just imagine that I hope that, I don't know when my last days will be, but I hope that I would be one of those organ donors, that I would go in a way that someone else can benefit from the fact that I lived and I existed here. And I just think it's just a really easy, great way for us to just give back beyond our days. So I encourage you. I know it can be a little bit scary for some. Obviously this is not something that is enforced on anyone, but if you're one of these people that wonders, is my life gonna impact beyond my days? This could be one of the ways that you can do so. So I encourage you to sign up. Thanks.
Yeah, please, go ahead. City Councilor, thank you so much for your leadership in sharing those specific stories. Woonsocket has got a great governmental infrastructure and really appreciate how you guys work together to get things done. And the mayor, I just met him today and we had a nice conversation and I can tell why you're such a good leader of this great community. So thank you so much, sir. Really do appreciate that. Walking in a tad late, which is not an issue at all, is Raina, who is running for Miss Teen Rhode Island. She is connected to organ donation because her mother, who is here as well, donated a living donation to her father or husband?
To my papa.
To your papa, to the husband, to the father, which is great. We as New England Donor Services serve deceased donors. We encourage people to consider living donation. I want to make sure that it is clear that if you register as an organ donor, that is only after you pass. It is not about living donation. But the need is so great that the federal government has identified that living donation has to be part of that process. And the miracle of individuals who donate to a loved one is truly amazing, and we really do appreciate that. I will say that 17 people die each day waiting for a life-saving transplant. This is, and this term is used way too often, a healthcare epidemic. We stand alone from any other health issues out there. Cancer research, AIDS research, all these really important issues to address. But we stand apart for two reasons. A, we're not looking for the cure. We know what that cure is. And for someone who is not needing their organs, aka has sadly passed away, they can help save someone else's life. And B, when we talk about donation, we're not talking about a financial donation. We are a nonprofit, so donations are always great, but we want you to register. And the idea of giving hope to someone else is truly, truly amazing. I'm so pleased, and what we're really here, A, for the mayor to have this celebration, but B, to hear the stories of people who've been personally touched by organ donation and give gratitude to their donors. I'm so pleased to introduce Rachel, who is going to share her story. Great, thank you.
Thank you so much, Matt, and thank you everyone for being here today. My name is Rachel Drain, and thank you for joining us in celebration of Donate Life Month. This is a celebration that I am honored to be able to attend, as I am a grateful liver transplant recipient. When I was born, I had a disease called biliary atresia that severely impacted my liver and limited the amount of time I had left to live, which was 7 days to be exact. As my parents' first child, they were told I only had 7 days left to live until my incredible donor family said yes to donation. It is not lost on me that amidst likely the worst days of their lives, I received the world's greatest gift, a second chance at life. I think of my donor and his family every single day, as I would not be here without their generosity. My transplant happened 29, approaching 30 years ago in June of 1994, and not only my life, but my family's life was positively impacted by donation. When someone gives the gift of life, it affects not only the direct recipient, but all of those who love and care for them. It truly is a ripple effect. Without my transplant, I would not have been able to graduate college, get married, or purchase my first home. I cannot wait to see what my future holds and all of the ways I can contribute and continue to participate in the Donate Life community. This month is all about celebrating all of our donor heroes that gave the gift of life. Those individuals who checked yes at the registry or registered online in hopes of being able to help a stranger. All of the people involved in this community are among the most special and appreciative. Thank you again for allowing me to share my story, and if you have not, please consider checking yes at the local RMV. You have the power to change lives.
Rachel, thanks so much. We could do a quick math there of when you got your transplant in 29 years, but it's wonderful for you to share that and say thanks to your donor family. I want to make sure that it is clear that our logo is Donate Life. We don't want anyone to pass away, period. That being said, sadly, we know people do pass away, but there's that opportunity to continue that individual's legacy through what I call the miracle of organ donation. And again, you're more likely to need a transplant than to become an organ donor. It is very, very rare. Here in New England, we're in a regional system, so individuals are registered all over the area, and our objective is to help save lives. We encourage hospitals to do all they can to utilize the organs that we present to them to help save an individual's lives. As I said, there is no age limit. Even a non-perfect organ is often better than the failing one in someone else's body. We truly want people to provide that hope. Rhode Island is a great state. Unfortunately, we're lagging behind the rest of the nation. Our goal is to have at least 50% of all states as registered donors. Events like this to bring attention and have people register are great. Right now, Rhode Island is at 46% registered. We want to really encourage people to say yes. The motto here in Rhode Island is hope, and we want to provide that hope with the heart on your license. Rachel's story is magnificent, and here in Woonsocket, we have another truly magnificent story with another individual. Tessa's a Woonsocket resident, a voter, sir, and has been personally touched by organ donation and is here to say a few words. Tessa, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Hi. So I echo a lot of the same sentiments that Rachel shared. At the age of 5, I became acutely sick and needed a transplant, and I was saved through the miracle of organ donation, and I received my liver transplant when I was 5. So this May, I'll be celebrating 31 years. And, you know, there's a lot of ups and downs, but the journey is just incredible. I was sharing with Matt that I just came back this weekend from hiking in Shenandoah National Park, and I honestly paused for a moment. I was on top of the mountain, and I paused for a moment of reflection, and I got pretty emotional because I thought about my organ donor. And I thought about the fact that I'm able to live my life and, like Rachel expressed, you know, marry my soulmate. I just watched my sister have her first baby, all of these things because of organ donation. And it was just a really cool, special moment. And it didn't coincide with this talk today. It just happened. It was like that pure moment where I was like, wow, I just felt that life inside of me. And I was just so grateful. And that is the power of organ donation. And I just, you know, encourage, of course, it can be something that's you're a little bit unsure about, but I encourage people to ask questions, to get information, and to register, because I'm so very thankful to my donor and my donor family for giving me this life. And yeah, I just encourage everybody, and I'm so thankful that you're all here today to spread the word, and thank you so much.
Tessa, thank you so much for sharing that. And actually, having Rachel and Tessa here, you would never know they had a significant surgery. and are living their life today. They are functioning individuals who have jobs, who are giving back, and they are giving thanks to their donor. Really do appreciate this. Again, the state plays a significant role in the organ donation process. Is that in Rhode Island and every state, the vast majority of people who register do so through the DMV. We work very closely with HHS here, Health and Human Services, to help educate individuals regarding organ donation. We work very closely with the governor, who also, as the mayor is going to do soon, proclaimed April as Organ Donation Month and had a great event at the State House. And again, we have wonderful advocates helping to educate and create policies to encourage the life-saving aspect of organ transplantation. Before I call the great state senator up, she is going to be mentioning stuff about living donation. Again, when you register as an organ donor, getting that heart on your license, that is only after you're deceased. But the state of Rhode Island, and we encourage every state to really lean in to encourage people to consider living donation. Raina, I didn't know if you wanted to say a few words with your mom about living donation. No worries at all if not. But this is a story of an individual who, a loved one, needed a kidney? Pardon me?
Yeah, a kidney.
A kidney, and gave to her father. Yeah. If you want to say a few brief words, that would be great.
You're first. Go first.
So my dad had diabetes, and it got to the point that he was on dialysis, and dialysis wasn't working, and he needed a kidney. And in my mind, it wasn't a single thought to even stop to get tested immediately. We went through all the testing, and unfortunately, we at first were let down because they had told us that there was that I wasn't a match for him. A week later, they came back and they told us that there was a problem with the testing that they did and that I was almost an exact match for him. And at that point, the ball started rolling, and at that time, she was a week away from turning a year old when I went into the hospital to donate to him, and it wound up working immediately. He never rejected it. Unfortunately, he did pass almost 2 years later from a cerebral hemorrhage, but when he did pass, he also was a donor, and he donated everything off of his body that he could donate in death. So I encourage everybody to donate. You know, if you can, register today. You could give somebody else life with what you could help with.
So, as you guys know, April is Donate for Month, or Organ Donation Month. And a lot of people ask why you should donate their organs or become an organ donor. And only one donor alone can save or drastically improve the lives of 8 or more people. Eye or tissue donors can enhance the lives of as many as 50 people. So I just want people to take the time to consider whether you want to be an organ donor, because it is very important to really ask yourself why it is important to you and other people. If you are an organ donor or you are a recipient and you have donated or received from other people, just know the families are really grateful for you guys.
Thank you so much for sharing those powerful stories and for caring for individuals. Sorry to hear that your father passed, but there was 2 more years that you could share with him. And what we're really about is time. Acknowledging the time that someone has served on this planet and their time continuing on through someone else. So really appreciate that. Senator, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy weekday representing this great city and doing wonderful work at the State House, including tracking and supporting organ donation initiatives. Again, I want to make sure it's clear when you register at the DMV, it is only after you've passed away. Living donation is an important part of this process, but it has nothing to do with you registering, but encouraging people to do that is great. Senator, thank you so much for your time here. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Matt, for having me. Thank you, Mayor, Councilwoman, and as you know, April is Organ Donation Month, and I wanted to just thank Rachel and Tess, and I'm so sorry,
Raina.
And Raina for their very personal stories. I know that it's difficult to share those personal stories in public. So I have been signed up to be an organ donor, I think, since I first got my license. And I would encourage everyone to do so. When we talk about just in this room, how there are 60 extra years of life just in this room today because of organ donation, imagine how many more years and how many more lives and it could be added to that if everyone in Rhode Island signed up to be an organ donor. I have done some work in the General Assembly for living donors to protect the rights of living donors. Last year, we passed a bill that prohibited insurance companies from discriminating against living donors. Unbelievably, that was happening. And so we tried to rectify that. And this year, there's a bill going through the General Assembly that would allow state employees to take paid time off if they chose to donate an organ. And, you know, we obviously, there's not a lot of people stepping up to do that. For the people who are, we want to make sure that they are protected and they have time to heal, and that if they're going to give the ultimate gift of life to someone else, that we stand behind them and we protect their rights. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for your wonderful work, Senator. And I'm just realizing, because I was standing behind you, you're wearing a heart shirt.
That was accidental.
Was it accidental? I mean, maybe it was fortuitous, but getting the heart on your license and or buying a shirt with hearts on it shows that you're supportive to organ donation. So really do appreciate it. Again, Mayor, thank you so much for hosting this event to help educate individuals about organ donation, sharing myths and misconceptions, and providing a venue to ask questions. We want to be as open and transparent as possible. I work with there's two sides to organ transplantation. The stories of people who've been personally touched, but on the other side is the families who miss their loved ones drastically and would do anything to change places and wish they were still here, but realizing that sadly they would have passed away and someone else is living on and continuing on through someone else. So that is part of the miracle. Again, we don't want anyone to pass away, and organ donation is very, very rare. Again, organ donation is a voluntary choice. You can check the yes box or you don't have to check the yes box. That being said, it's not a neutral choice. Both the state and federal government strongly supports organ donation, and in every state provides the opportunity to get this heart on your license. Mayor, thank you so much for beginning this event and ending this event by proclaiming April as Donate Life Month, Organ Donation Month in the great state, the great town of Woonsocket. Appreciate your time here.
Thank you. So I'll just first say thank you for those inspirational stories by Rachel, Tessa, and Raina. Very inspirational, and obviously they've saved lives, so appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us today. Presented to the New England Donor Services, whereas there are more than 103,700 Americans with more than 6,000 in New England who are currently waiting for a life-saving organ transplant. And whereas there are over 1 million life-enhancing tissue transplants each year that are made possible by the generous donation of cornea, bone, skin, and other tissue. And whereas we can all help to save someone's life and benefit up to 50 recipients by signing up to become an organ and tissue donor by enrolling in the Rhode Island Donor Registry when we apply for or renew our driver's licenses, or by registering online at www.registerme.org. And whereas 98% of all people in Rhode Island who register to become a donor do so at the Division of Motor Vehicles, it is fitting that Rhode Island seek to surpass the national goal of signing up 50% of our driving population to become donors, and is dedicated to making it fast and easy to sign up to save a life through our Division of Motor Vehicles. And whereas this is observance pays tribute to organ and tissue donors and their families whose dedication to donate life enables others to receive life-saving organs and tissues for transplant. Now, therefore, I, Christopher Beauchamp, Mayor of the City of Woonsocket, Rhode Island, do hereby proclaim April 2024 to be April Organ Donation Month. Have a heart and get a heart day on your driver's license. I encourage residents to register as an organ donor and urge all citizens of Woonsocket to understand and participate fittingly in its observance. Signed today, April 22nd, 2024.
Actually, Raina?
Yes.
Come over here. A quick picture. Here, we'll do the photo here. Awesome. Come on, guys. The great mayor. Awesome. Outstanding. That's wonderful. Appreciate it. I'll get one with my camera too. Thank you so much. I do. Thank you so much. Mayor, thank you again. These events are great community events to help educate people. Again, we don't want to convince anyone to do anything they don't want to do, but the stories here should help convince individuals. I do lastly want to thank the media for being here. There's a phrase that if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? It does if there's someone there to capture it. And having these real life stories shared in a greater audience, I feel like there's a lot of, if I don't mind saying, love and support in this room. How we communicate that outward is through the media. You guys do a wonderful job, and I truly appreciate you helping proliferate this information out there. Now, we have a few people who came in a little late, so if you don't mind, we might do one more photos, but thank you so much for being here. And media, if you want to do one-on-one conversation with anyone, we'd love to have that. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.